Time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Welcome to a special edition of the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Before I start the show, I have, let me tell you who my guests are. My guest is Jim Perry, who is the current president of the City Council, Hazleton City Council, and the chairman of the Water Authority, John Keegan, and we'll explain why John's on the show. I did talk to Mr. Sosar and Mr. Mundy were aware that we're having this show, and they were offered the same opportunity as well as Perry and Keegan have. So we did offer them that same opportunity. It's a paid political half-hour show to discuss what's going on. Okay, now, Jim, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And John, of course, we'll find out why you're sitting here.
Thank
right?
you.
Okay, you're not running for office, but geez, I think you're the mayor, the governor, president, you're everybody.
That's what some people are trying to say.
Yeah, Jim, the city of Hazleton right now, under you're the president
Yes.
of the council. What do you see? Some of the concerns, because there's a lot of commercials running now.
Absolutely.
Showing a lot of things about Jack Mundy, and Dave Sosar. And some of those things, of course, they're all factual. We have everything. We have to do with facts. I'm sure they have facts too, and we'll be running some of their commercials as well. But what are some of the key areas that you feel where Jack has not been cooperative?
Well, obviously, it's been more of disruption than anything else, not giving us an answer, not giving us any kind of an alternative to what we come up with. It's always a no, 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 and no alternative, just trying to create turmoil. I think he really wants to see the city fail, to say, I told you so, at the expense of the citizens. So we're 12 years of this, and it's gotten worse and worse without any answer. We're trying to find new ways of moving the city forward efficiently, and Jack's doing everything he can to create a turmoil.
Now, I want to, on the onset,
Yes.
and I'm going to ask you this, Jack. You have nothing personally against Jack Mundy, right? Okay.
No,
There's
Jack, I've known Jack for a long,
so
long
this
time.
is strictly,
Absolutely.
information, just subject matter. Dealing with facts here.
This is information, Sam, about the city and how to move it forward. Okay. And what we've seen that have been some of the root problems that got it to the point we're at today, and why they're seeing some things that they're seeing.
So getting back to council, all right, and here again, one of the commercials are, as I said, there's always screaming and yelling, and what brings that about, Jim?
I think Jack, it's more like being a bully, want to show and push his weight around without any answer. Just again, it's more of a screaming, which there's no reason for it. He has no particular purpose. He disrespects people who come to council meetings, other council members, any administrative people who come. It's like he is a bully, and that's really what it comes down to. He's bullying them, and whether it's Fallon, we can go down the list, but Mary Ellen, many others. He wants this person, didn't want this person. He wanted Steve Hahn. He said he's overqualified, didn't vote for him. It's a lot of the rhetoric and the artificial Titanic when it really isn't that. We have a lot of positive things happening in the city. A lot of positives, and Jack doesn't want to be part of any of that. He wants to show it's like I said, artificial problems. He's creating them, which there aren't as bad. But it's disrespectful. We hear it from many people who come. We apologize to them, but just screaming and just out of touch. As we see, those commercials are true. That's exactly what you say.
Why do you think, does he discuss with you? I asked the mayor this question, and I asked the chief. I said, does Jack Mundy or Mrs. Mope or the people who are have problem or concerns, and I'm sure they have concerns. Do they discuss these things with you? Do they have work sessions? Does Jack Mundy call you and say, Jim, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm upset with this. This is why I'm doing that.
No, we never hear it. Actually, he doesn't even contact City Hall. They will not. They don't even have any clue. He doesn't ask any questions. He doesn't call anybody. He asks for material, whether Jeannie gets it for him or not, but he does not ask or doesn't even include anything like, here's my plan. I have an idea. Why don't we do this? Never. There's never one thing we could say that he's done. He's had opportunities in the last budget. Hey, come up with ideas. Nope, I'm not voting for that budget because I don't have an audit. So it's always a way out, but he doesn't have any solutions. It hasn't been that way for 12 years. Not a real answer, a real way to move us forward.
I asked him 2 months ago in an editorial, where's your plan? I haven't heard it from either him nor Dave.
Okay. And we're going to explain to the public why you're here, because I'm going to explain why you're sitting here, okay? Jim, I'm going to put a chart up, okay? And the chart is right here, okay? Sammy, if you put that chart up, explain to the citizens of Hazleton what this chart is, okay, what we're looking at.
What you're looking at is a chart of adjusted revenue versus expenses from 2004 and 2008 when Jack was in the middle of his run as council member. And the expenses have obviously gone skyrocketing out of control, and our revenue has been diminished. And there wasn't one thing that he has come up with to alleviate that till we come to the point where we have to bring the Pennsylvania Economic League in to tell us, whoa, you got to stop doing what you're doing so you don't get into an Act 47 situation. So this is just demonstrating what has gone on over these years to prove that Jack has not offered one way of trying to solve that, slowing it down. Now, he knew it, so it's not like it's hiding, it's right in front. Matter of fact, this was a slide from Lou Barletta's, a slide that he put up.
Okay. What do you need? Certainly, you don't want yes men people. I mean, you want people who are going to bring things to this table, and to try to better the city of Hazleton. But I see sometimes people have personal agendas, and it's so sad because, you sometimes if you see success, well, if you get success, then you knew he's going to get accolades, okay, and it's so sad. And the poor people in Hazleton who are trying to survive suffer from this. Okay?
Absolutely.
Now you've seen this on council. Okay, what do you think council should be doing? How do we get council to work together?
Well, again, it's about the people. This is not about politics like Jack wants to be. It's about the people and about leadership. It's about how we can move the city forward and working together. So I see it as how we can be more efficient in government. I was just talking to a couple just a few hours ago, and they said the same thing. We're tired of all the negativity. We can all complain about it. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to bring this city together? We have to all work together. We have to be more efficient in government, as we said, efficient in all of we can't afford to just duplicate services. So all the administrative has to work, be more efficient. I think the chief is trying to do that. I think the fire department is trying to do that. All the departments are trying to be more efficient in what they're doing because so we can have the money that we can use to maybe, obviously, crime is our number one problem, so we need that. So I'm looking for any areas that anybody has an idea. We've come up with some creative ideas, like timbering. That was not on there before. We added timbering. We're taking over the parking authority, which I think is a great idea because now we'll get all the revenue. And we'll be able to utilize that maybe in paving roads. I think that's one of the biggest things people want to see, pave and patch the roads. So again, streamlining as much as we can, being efficient. We need more code, there's no question about it. Those are things that I like to see moving forward.
Well, does Jack Mundy or Gene Mope or the other councilman, do they bring things to the table that are positive?
Now, what they bring to the table a lot of times is answer questions that they could find out any day of the week. They just bring it at that time to pick on somebody and who is not prepared. Get me this, give me this, why do we spend this? When he can find those out, we get budgets every monthly, we get monthly reports. It's not like we don't know what's going on. So they're just trying to find ways to show a crack in the armor. Instead of all of us working together as a group hey, we all have the same problems. It should be the least political, council of anybody. We all have the same problems that are affecting all of us. Why don't we all come together? It's amazing. We could see Tara Tuhill and John Yudicek doing that. Why can't we do that?
Sam, I've seen that at the council meetings. It's their theater. They want to put on their play, and instead of really getting down to the nitty-gritty problems. At the HCA, I go do my homework before I come to the meeting. They want the meeting to be the opportunity to ask their questions. They should be doing that during the day. That's what they're supposed to be coming to a council meeting to legislate and to vote on things that are going to move the city forward, not ask questions. It isn't college. This isn't a course. This is real people with real problems in real time.
Well, now, Jack, I'll explain, why you're here tonight, because it seems that he keeps on saying, you, John Keegan, these guys are puppets, and you're the one that's running this town, and it's you. Now, did he attack your daughter, or not attack, but did he say something about your daughter?
Yes, he insinuated something that was very, very grave about my daughter getting her job, and I can't believe that his politics would go to that basement floor. That was just totally out of bounds, and it was totally false. But he went there.
He don't like you.
I don't know what Jack feels. I can't speak for Jack. I can only speak for myself.
Okay, now, so the fact that you're here is because of the fact that he keeps on bringing your name up. And you're telling the mayor what to do, you're telling Jim what to do, you're running City Hall, you're running all that stuff, okay? So what we talk about, in the there's a commercial, okay, that's where there was a mishandling of $250,000 from the HCA. Okay,
Right.
What was that all about?
When the HCA acquired the Northeastern building, the city community development gave them $250,000 to take care of the problems inside the building. Instead, the HCA got themselves into a problem. They borrowed $500,000 from PNC, and they went through all the money, and their accounts were frozen. And they, instead of fixing up the Northeastern building, they used the money to unfreeze their accounts. And that wasn't supposed to happen, and it ended up in a lawsuit, which is 1999.
Where does that money come into this?
Well, according to the documents that I have, and if people could see it, it says exhibit, that's an exhibit number on there, okay? This was all a court case. Jack Mundy, in a letter in here, it states that he was in charge of the finances of the Northeastern building. And it also states in here that when the state wanted an audit, he refused to turn over the documents to them. So that's why I believe there was a mishandling of the money. It wasn't spent for the purposes it was intended to. And in the end, and this is Resolution 2003-49, the Hazleton City Authority ratepayers had to pay the city back $250,000 to settle that court case.
Now, you also said, did Jack want to fire or want to get rid of our chief, please?
Absolutely, yeah. That was in that same commercial you had. He said, he wanted the chief fired. Actually, it was in the newspaper before that, and he reiterated that because the chief was explaining how, some of the problems he had, with all of his manpower and equipment. And Jack wanted him fired. This is the guy who
Did he say he wanted him fired?
Absolutely. He should be fired. If the mayor should call him in and fire him after the article that was in the paper. Again, that's Jack's mentality. Again, he wants to yell, scream, fire. He doesn't have an answer. So again, you pound the table, you don't have the facts. You pound it, you scream, you yell, and divert attention away from you. And this is what we're seeing constantly.
The other thing is, Jack and Jeannie don't understand the role. They aren't the administrative officers and the city employees do not answer to council. They are not their supervisors. They should not be saying things like, you don't know your job. They should not be saying you should be fired, because they're not the supervisor. They are legislators. They are actually putting the city into a problem when they do that.
Folks, I'm talking to Jim Perry, who is the current president of the City Council. He's running for election, and John Keegan is the chairman of the Hazleton City Water Authority. And the reason why he's here is because, again, he's been implicated all the time at the meetings. Jack Mundy mentions that he is, running the city and that everyone's a puppet to John. I figured that he should be here. He requested to be here. I did also notify Dave Sosa and Jack Mundy that they would be here and we'd be doing this show. I want to give them opportunities. And once again, keeping in mind, this is only facts. There is nothing personal against anybody here. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. My guest today, Councilman Jim Perry, and the chairman of the Hazleton Water Authority, John Keegan. The show is pertaining to information that coming up to the election on Tuesday, November 5th, right? November 5th. And remember, folks, I told you that Mr. Sosar and Mr. Mundy were aware of the show and were offered the same opportunities that they have. So, Jim? Now you've been there only what, for 4 years? Okay. Yeah. How long has Jack Mundy been on the council?
I believe 12.
12 years. So for the citizens, I told the mayor, my wife and I made an investment in Hazleton.
Absolutely.
We bought this building. We believe in this town, so we bought. We pay mercantile tax. We pay the taxes we have to pay, okay? And I think and the town has been good to us, all right? Mm-hmm. And we want to make it better. We want people to be proud of this town. So what are you doing, Jim, to help us with that? Again,
it's about positiveness. It's about moving the city forward. Again, I think we need to work in an efficient manner. I said that before, with the police, with the fire, with everybody, to be more efficient. We got to work with the downtown people, D'Angelo's, Hayden's, to make this the place we want it to be. We can all look at the negative. What are we going to do about it? Again, we need to bring in more revenue. We have to make it a place where we can improve all the time. And I think there's a lot of positiveness going on in this city. I mean, others would want to say, oh, it's a mess. Well, what are you going to do about it? All right, we're trying to get, again, we have the Attorney General has put their crime task force here. Thanks to Chief and thanks to Tara and John Yadicek, we now have them here enforcing the gang task force. Again, the Chief has made it more efficient in code, in being able to collect revenue. We've taken over the parking meters. So we're looking at more revenue, streamlining, cooperation. We do it now with the Hazleton City Authority, with the Master Service Agreement. They're paying for services. They're not getting money for nothing. They pay for a service. We're already doing it now with the Transit Authority. They're paying the police to work at the transit intermodal. So I think we need more of that intercooperation between each other with intergovernmental cooperation. So those are some areas I want to see even more improved. We want to reduce healthcare costs, obviously. So those are some areas where we need to move forward in a positive manner.
What's the connection between Dave Sosar and Mundy?
Well, you have to realize Dave was councilman in 1992, and he appointed Jack Mundy to the board of the HCA. And then Dave lost his council seat in 96, and Jack became a councilman in 2002, and then he appointed Dave Sosar to the board, among some other friends that they both mutually put on. So basically, for the last 21 years, they've been trying to control the HCA and Hazleton city government at the same time when they're trying to label everybody else doing it.
Well, I'm sure, Dave Sosar has some positive things that he wants to do in the city. He feels that, a conversation with him, I mean, he's feeling that there's a lot to be done yet, okay?
Well, let's go back to 1995 when he was running for his second term. There was a comprehensive plan done in 1992 that was a 296-page report. He didn't implement any of the strategies that they told council at the time they could implement to help downtown. It was called a Business District Authority, okay? The storm management fee was also part of that. He didn't do it. He said he was for economic development in 95, and he never followed through with it. And he's had an opportunity as a citizen to continue fostering economic development, and where are we today? Same thing with Jack. Jack had these tools there available, and they never used them because they were more focused on what was going on at the HCA than they were in the city of Hazleton.
So why does Jack keep on attacking you?
Well, I liken it to Obamacare and Obama. When the Republicans were trying to take Obamacare away from them, they're trying to take the baby away from their mother. It appears that these guys, that the HCA is their baby. And now that they don't have any control over it, they are kicking and screaming up a fight.
Now, again, you have to work with city council, okay? And I'm sure you knew of Jim, but you didn't know him that well.
No.
Okay, I mean, I know of Jim, but I know him that well. Know the family. He's a great family, as well as Mundy. I mean, I know Jack's dad and his mom. They're beautiful people, okay? And that's why
I knew Jack a lot longer than I knew Jim.
Yeah. And here again, I only like to talk about facts, okay? Because, it always boils down to a good debater is a debater. After debate, have a beer together, etc., okay?
So, they got rid of the management company. American Water was managing the Hazleton City Authority from 1943 till 2006. They severed their ties. But their board didn't have what I call the qualifications to run an $8 million company. Since then, we've put Tim Farley on, 30 plus years human resources, Eddie Shopey, 20 years construction, Bob Zientek, I don't even have to tell the people of this community his qualifications. So we were trying to we wanted to see people on there who could run a company and make it efficient. And we have been implementing a lot of strategies at the HCA, improving fire. We just improved fire service, not only on the Heights, but in Jeansville as well, tremendously with the projects we have. We have the meter project coming up that will help eliminate some of the fraud that's happening right now and some of the theft that's happening right now of our water and water revenue. So we're trying to run things a lot better in a different direction, and rather than just put your friends on a board and give them a 5-year term.
Just to add to that, there's a lot of workers there who say we don't want to go back to the way it was. We enjoy what we have new equipment, we're being more efficient, we like to go to work, we're able to go to conferences and whether the board used to go before, so they don't want to turn back. And you can ask anybody. I haven't asked, they keep telling me, please don't, we don't want to go back to their power struggle, to their control. So again, those are some things which that's all they want to do. So again, you can see it on council. They're already ready in place to put a new person in on authority, their person. They don't want the solicitor. Jack said no to him when he was okay for Lou Barletta during his administration. He voted no on Chris Lesser. So wheels are turning. They already have their power. It's all about the power in politics, not about the citizens.
I don't care about the power, but if someone would come up with in business, I go to my news director and say, okay, fine, we're paying you as a news director. Now you come up with concrete,
Absolutely.
And thank God, we're number one with local television
Absolutely.
news, okay? If we weren't, we wouldn't be dressing it. I'm not plugging, I'm just saying. So that's why I'm saying, does Jack Mundy or Gene Mope, did they come up with any concrete solutions, okay, at council? Did they discuss this with the mayor? Did they discuss it with you?
Anything that the mayor puts up, they'll vote no, regardless of if it's good
They
or
just
not.
don't
They just
like
don't
it.
like him at all.
No,
But you can see it.
They
Yeah, go
never put
ahead.
any legislation forward. The pieces of legislation they put forward, they never checked with the solicitor. They never found out whether it was legal to do it. And all of them were shot down because they weren't. Sam, let's go in a different direction here for a second. The Broad Street Corridor project is getting finished, okay? Jack and Jeannie weren't part of the discussions that brought the D'Angelos downtown and that marriage between the D'Angelos and the Haydens. We are on the precipice of having some tremendous growth down here. Big, okay? And this was done through the mayor, through the council, through all of us trying to work on getting someone to believe in downtown Hazleton and invest the money. And these people did. And people have complained about it, and I don't understand the negativity on council from certain people.
John, here again, and I applaud the D'Angelos. I applaud George Hayden because when he took over, he won't do this, he won't do that. But there are only a few people, okay? And those negative people, sometimes the negative people get more press than positive. We have a lot of positive people out there that are seeing what they're doing, and they were going out of town. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we brought you guys through the efforts, brought the Angelos here, and they believe in this town. Mm-hmm. The Angelo brothers and their families believe in this town as well as everybody, and they've invested in this town. Okay, as well as we've invested in this town, and we need constructive. I'll argue we'll be constructively.
Absolutely.
Sam, these investments are only going to spur other investments. The other smaller ancillary service businesses that will happen because of their investment will populate downtown, okay? I'm on the board of the Hazleton Housing Authority. We are trying to get a 36-unit complex put on the former D.A. Harmon site, okay? They're the positive things we're seeing. We're seeing St. Joe's finally some movement there. So these are all things happening now, and I haven't seen any effort.
Sammy, how much time do I have before I don't want to run over time over here? While he's giving me the time, Jim, working with these people, okay? You're a teacher, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
and being involved. Why are you involved in this?
Well, listen,
city?
I love. Yeah, I mean, I love my city. I care about my city. I live here. I've worked as much as I can. Although I teach out of town, I've worked with recreation for 12 years. I actually, so I care about my city. I actually was also on a field hearing with the Congressman Lou Barletta. So I actually spoke in front of the congressman. So I care about my city. I want to see it move in a positive direction. So we have to say either you're going to join us or come with ideas or move off to the side.
So you have an election coming up
Yes.
Tuesday, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand? I mean, who are you proposing? Who are you asking people to support? So you could continue on what you want to set forth.
Well, listen, it's about what we can do for the citizens. It's about the people who are the best candidates who care about the city. It's obvious who cares about the city. Kevin, we put Kevin on there. I didn't know Kevin he was a friend of my son's actually, and he's a Democrat. It didn't matter. He was a young kid who cares. He was a young kid who cares. He was on zoning, which Jack approved him over and over again for zoning board, and he votes no because he wanted to put Dave on there. So it was, here's a young guy who cares about the city. Both of us, we actually went around cleaning the city. We actually started our e-cycling. We recycled. I mean, we were in people's basements, elderly people, helping them take out their recyclables they could never do. They couldn't thank us enough. We must have went to 50 homes, and we took off because we care about our city. You can ask Jack, what have you done? Nothing. I'd like to see us, over the time, I want to have, when this street's done, I want to have a unity run or walk a mile, Broad Street Mile. We can all get together, and everybody can either walk or run a mile. Either the Hispanic, Latino community, all of us as we start this new era in Hazleton, because we got a new road, we got new. D'Angelo's putting their world headquarters here. This doesn't happen anywhere else. Yeah. So when we hear people say it's no good, it's bad. Well, what are you going to do? Give us an alternative. So that's
there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of talk. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of people, personalities come in. I had the mayor and the chief as a special show. Sammy, I'm not going to have a break. I'm just going to go right to the end. So give me a countdown. I think it's critical for people to understand information.
Absolutely.
And facts, okay? And I always said about John, Keegan, and we kid, I think you're going to be dealing with facts, and that's the most important thing. We're dealing with facts, and so important for the city of Hazleton. So you're asking people to vote for Jim Perry on Tuesday?
Yes, yes. I think if you listen, I care. Vote for me, invest in me, and I think I can help. I can help move the city forward in a positive manner. I've got the leadership ability, and there's a lot of positives we want to work on, and I want to be part of it.
Folks, well, November 5th, very important. I said I did offer Dave Sosar and Jack Mundy an opportunity to do this is paid political half hour for them to be able to bring forth to you, and they're investing in the city. But I also offer the same opportunity for Dave Sosar, who is a very good friend of mine, and Jack, okay, nothing personal. This is just strictly dealing with facts. Don't forget to vote. Make sure you vote for qualifications. See you next time.